On this episode of This Must Be the Place, we're going to talk about the Kingfield neighborhood and, by extension, East Harriet, because the lines are blurred and there's cool things on each side of that.
There's clear lines, but
they are very
point taken. Yes.
I blur the lines, being a St. Paul person.
Sure.
So I'm going to blur them for you. Obviously, we're going to talk about the restaurants in the Kingfield neighborhood, but we're going to talk about so much more. And then we're going to talk about open houses because it is the season of open houses.
Big time.
From a buyer perspective and from a seller perspective.
Snow is melting, sun is out, things are slowly starting to turn green.
Yeah.
People, arise from their
slumber,
from their winter slumber, and they're out checking out open houses.
Yep.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. So whether you in Minneapolis or St. Paul, Bloomington to Maple Grove, from the east side to the west side, down south to way up north, let me hear you say, this must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place.
All right, hello, and welcome to This Must Be the Place, the only Twin Cities real estate and real estate adjacent podcast, where one of the hosts recently went to Meritage hoping to order a Lune à l'Orange. All right, backstory.
Nope, that one did not.
Yeah, it didn't land.
At
Casey
all.
and I met at a French restaurant where duck à l'orange was prominently featured on the menu. And you don't remember this?
No, okay.
Yeah. And one of the hosts wanted Lune à l'Orange. I'm keeping it Minnesota.
I didn't know that. Which host was this? Kelly Kapowski? Or Jenny
McCarthy? Have you ever eaten Lune?
I know, and I don't want to.
Why not?
I'm not a duck guy. It's too gamey.
Oh,
I'm not
sure,
a gamey kind of. It's chicken or bust.
To be clear, it's illegal to eat Lune. Nobody would ever dream of it.
You ever eaten a dog?
A dog?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think I have.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I've heard horse is delicious.
No, man. I can't. None of that.
Why?
Why won't I eat a horse?
Well, because it's illegal, but like they do it in France.
Anyway, man. I won't eat octopus. Do you want to know why I won't eat octopus?
Because they're smart?
Because there was this documentary, man. They're like dogs. Their personality. They're like amazing creatures.
So it gets back to the fundamental Pulp Fiction argument of if something has personality or is smart, we don't eat it, but we'll eat the dumb, no personality animals. Why? Where's the demarcation point?
I don't know, man.
I think it's all or nothing. Shouldn't it be all or nothing?
Maybe. I mean, I have very random what I won't eat and what I will eat when it comes to animals. I won't eat veal because when I was younger, driving out to the place I used to snowboard at in Pennsylvania, Blue Marsh, long live Blue Marsh, although it went out of business like 20 years ago. There was this veal farm, and you could see the little baby cows chained up to like their little like boxes that they lived in that they couldn't walk around. And I was like,
it's a bad look.
I always wanted to break in with my buddies on the way up there and like let them all free. So I won't eat veal because of that, but I'll eat cow. Like burgers are my favorite thing ever, you know?
So, just like Andy Reid.
I don't do gamey things. I also don't do cartoon characters. Is another reason I don't eat like duck or like Daffy Duck, Donald Duck.
I'm familiar.
Yeah. But then people are like, what about chicken? Because of the rooster, foghorn, leghorn. And I say he's a rooster, not a chicken. And so I'll eat chicken, but I won't eat rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo, motherfucker.
There's no cartoon cows or pigs? What about Porky Pig?
See, that's what I said. So it's I realize that my hypocrisy runs deep when it comes to the cartoon thing.
Sure.
And I'd never gone that far into it before.
Well, I'll tell you what. in my February vegetarian month, I am all high and mighty, judging all you meat eaters.
I mean,
And then I get out of it and I'm like, where's that burger?
I have a cousin who's vegan.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And he looks younger now at 65, whatever he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be much older than that. I don't know. Because he looks better now than when he did when I was like 10 and he was in his late 30s.
Because he's vegan?
Because he's vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could immediately you could tell that like a year into it, man, he was like lost a ton of weight,
I'm sure.
like everything about it. So,
I'm sure blood pressure went down.
Yeah.
Everything is looking up.
Yeah. But man, I love burgers. Yeah. And cheesesteaks.
Dairy, dude.
And
Dairy's so good.
yeah.
Anyway, Loon à l'orange. Not my best. Not my finest work.
No. It's open house season, man. I just picked up an open house this weekend, not on my listing, because I was like, I should pick up an open house in Bloomington. I did an open house. I did 2 open houses last week at my own listing in Chaska, under contract, 3 days above asking. And I'm going to do another open house in 2 weeks at my other listing, a couple open houses at my listing in St. Paul. That's coming on the market on West 7th.
Yeah, I did one
sure
2 weeks ago. I've got 2 coming up next week at my listing. And following that, I've got a couple other listings. Anyway, we're going to be hosting open houses. It's fun to host open houses as a realtor because you're kind of hosting a party, I feel like, right?
You got to do it right.
You got to do it right.
Too many realtors are like, hi, welcome in. How can I show you around? Are you working with anybody? Could you sign in here? Could you do this? Could you do that? Not us. I mean, I'm assuming you. I think I came to hang out with you before I was in real estate at an open house because you might have put on Facebook or something, I'm playing like Daft Punk or...
Yeah, I used to always do that, yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's in my hood. That sounds cool. Like, I'll stop by and say hi. Throw on the music, set the vibes.
Yep.
And just welcome people in, like... have conversations. Doesn't have to be real estate conversations, man. Just like, at least that's how I do it.
I'm the same. The deepest I get in terms of like invasive questioning is I'm like, how long have you been looking? Are you looking in the area? How deep are you in the process? And usually I won't even ask them if they're working with a realtor. Sometimes I do, but other than that, like you said, it's setting the vibe. It's kind of hosting a party, and just being outgoing and getting to know people.
Sure. I think maybe what's important for people, because while we like hosting them, I think what's important for people is to maybe talk about how they can use an open house to their advantage or most effectively, especially in the climate.
Oh boy.
That's going to be a big old edit. My God. I was hanging on there for a while. It was like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I could tell.
Let's see if I can make it seem, I should go back and watch where my hands were. Ready? Let's see if this cut works. I think how people can use them most effectively, especially in this climate of 20 people through an open house at the same time, things going crazy, multiple offers above asking, right? Like it's a pretty frenetic pace out there for good markets within the metro or good houses within the metro area. People can take advantage of the open house to really dig deeper maybe than they would have.
Yeah, to not just kick tires, but to kick tires a little bit, but also, look behind the curtain and get some details to better themselves going forward if they are in fact interested in the house.
Yeah, right. If it's not for you, I wouldn't even waste my time. You're in, you're out, right?
Yeah.
Like, but if because a lot of people go to multiple open houses,
I think most people will go to at least
it's
one
like
or
a tour.
two.
They'll hit up the neighborhood.
Yes.
And so if you see something you like, and your realtor's not with you, pick the host's brains about what's going on there. And a lot of times, like you will find a lot of times the people that are hosting the open houses are not the listing agent. And if they're bad at their job, they don't know anything about the house.
Right.
So judge that pretty quickly, right? Are you the listing agent? Do you know about the house? They might be like, I'm just here to try to like redirect
client.
people to my house. Yeah. But if they do know about the house, pick their brain about the house. If they don't, ask them where either the supplements are, the disclosures are,
Yep.
the one sheets are, so you can kind of look through, oh, there were cracks in the foundation or there's water intrusion. You can start to like see the picture of the house and then go evaluate that stuff for yourself. Beyond like, oh, I love the paint color. I love the high ceilings. It's so nice and bright. Or I hate
Yes.
this, right? Like really start to envision how you would live life in there, because that might be your one opportunity to check out the house. Or if they are in a multiple situation, say there's an open on a Saturday, chances are they'll probably delay until Sunday before they do highest and best or something like that.
Yeah, unless the seller gets blown away with an offer.
Yeah. And then you can get back in with your agent for effectively what becomes a second showing.
Right.
Right? Where you really dig into that.
Yeah. But you're right. Like whoever is hosting the open house, whether it's the listing agent or another agent that's hosting the open for the listing agent, ask questions like, how old's the roof?
Yeah.
Has there been moisture problems in the basement? What does the electrical system look like? How old is the furnace?
And roof's a big deal nowadays because of how insurance has changed over the past 3 years or so.
Yes. So you've dealt with that recently. I've dealt with that not as recently as you, but very recently as well.
I mean, and like, not to go too deep into it, but there are very few providers out there that will even cover a roof that's over 15 years of age. There are some. I don't want to give them free advertisement.
Right.
Hit us up. I'm happy to tell you who those carriers are.
Sure.
So if you're going into a house that has a roof that old, that's a conversation with the seller. Maybe there's a possible claim that they can take and put money in escrow for you to put a roof on the house later. Maybe they can take a claim and put it on before closing. Maybe you don't need to take a claim because you're willing to negotiate a little bit of money off the price of the house, because you do have a carrier that will cover the roof and you feel like it's a good deal anyway. And that might be what separates your offer from other offers.
Yep.
Right? Like if you're the seller and I'm like, hey, I'm not going to make you replace the roof. I know the condition of it. I know the age of it. I can get it covered. We're good to go on that. But my offer is $7 or $8 less than this other one who is going to make you do that.
Yeah.
Roof's going to be more than $7 or $8.
Yeah. Right.
So,
and who do you want to work with those two scenarios, right?
Yeah.
And I will say insurance has gotten bad here. I don't want to, minimize that. But if you go elsewhere in this country, you might not even get insured.
Florida, California.
Yeah, right. Fires, climate change affecting, worsening these natural disasters.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sucks everywhere because for all those reasons, but just kind of having perspective.
For sure.
Yeah.
We have it pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, open houses. I don't really want to get too deep into it because of brevity's sake, but brevity. But yeah, like Casey said, it's a great opportunity, especially as the thaw is happening and everything's becoming green and more houses are hitting the market. Whether it's you're just slowly thinking about buying a house or if you're in the throes of it, take it as a great opportunity to ask some questions and to dig a little bit deeper while you're looking at the house, and then as kind of a first opportunity to see if you want to see it again with your agent.
Yeah.
Come back the next day.
Yeah.
And really kind of dig your heels in.
Yeah, take advantage of the opportunity because deadlines are happening so quickly right now that if you can spend an hour and a half or an hour in a property before you go spend another hour in the showing, at least you have time to think about your options.
And as we talked about in last episode, interest rates and the new normal kind of thing, like people are kind of accepting the fact that interest rates are going to be in the sixes for a long time.
Yeah, 30-year was at like 6.5. I thought it was lower.
Oh, really?
Maybe it's VA that's lower.
Maybe. But either way, we're kind of swimming in that pool right now for the foreseeable future. So as always, like I say, if the home is in a desirable location, it shows well, There's no real objectionables with how it's laid out, and it's priced well. It's going to sell fast.
Yep.
So go to that open house. If you have any further interest, get on the horn with your agent, book another showing, and it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. You want to hop in a neighborhood watch?
And now, This Must Be the Place presents Neighborhood Watch.
Yeah, I think I do.
Are we done with the real estate?
Yeah, we're done with the real estate topic.
Oh, look. If you have questions, comments, let us know. We need some audience interaction here. What's the number? Do you know it still?
612
Yep.
234
Yes, sir.
18.
Give it. Come on. 89.
1889.
Come on, man.
Or this must be the place pod@gmail.com.
Yes. We will
Casey's
read
right.
messages. We will read mailbag messages on the pod.
We will respond to voicemails
Yes.
on the pod.
Yeah. So if you're shy about having your voice played, just say that in the message and we'll just respond to it. If you're not shy, we'll play your voice and then we'll respond to what's going on. Yeah. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Don't be that guy. And that's gender neutral.
Neighborhood Watch this week. We are going to be talking about Kingfield and East Harriet.
Yes.
Two lovely neighborhoods. in
You're a
the city of
Minneapolis guy.
Minneapolis.
Where would-
I am the
where would this
Minneapolis
be?
guy. So Kingfield
Yep.
is an area that is south of 36th Street, north of 46th Street. So it's just 10 blocks northwest. North-south blocks are longer than east-west blocks, but it's only 10 blocks north to south, and then east to west, we're going 35W to the east and Lyndale to the west. So
Yeah.
not quite to Lake Harriet.
And that's where I was mistaken. I thought it went from 35 all the way to Lake Harriet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the East Harriet neighborhood,
Yeah.
which kind of meanders a little bit north of there too. But Kingfield is much more defined, like rectangle.
Like a rectangle. Yeah. Yep.
And
Cool neighborhood.
yeah,
Beautiful houses.
yeah, Kingfield's great. You want me to give you a little history lesson?
Are we going? Is this a big brain Andy time in the making? Okay.
Kingfield, named after William S. King.
Who was he?
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, you're welcome.
He was a congressperson in the U.S. House of Representatives,
Okay.
most known for allegations of corruption.
Of course.
That's
Go figure.
Yeah, he was most noteworthy
Every time
for.
we think we're in like uncharted waters with the current political situation,
Yeah, there's precedent.
you just gotta do your maths, as
Yeah.
the Brits would say.
Yes, maths.
Do your maths and study history a little bit, and you'll see that we've been in these places before.
Yeah, we
you
have.
know?
We have. And I don't know, the degree of corruption that he was.
He was a scumbag.
No, I don't think so.
I
okay.
have no idea.
He was a journalist, a businessman,
okay.
a farmer. He was integral in founding both the Minneapolis Tribune and
Okay.
the St. Paul Pioneer Press,
Oh.
in which he was most known for writing editorials
Okay.
criticizing slavery. That's good.
Yeah. So he wasn't fucking corrupt.
well,
He
no,
was
he
good, and they were pinning bullshit on him to try to get him out of the way.
I don't know
I'm going with that.
the full accuracy
I'm going
of
with that
the
side of the
allegations
story.
of corruption on Mr. King. But as part of Kingfield is MLK Park,
Okay.
Martin Luther King Park,
Yep.
which maybe we just transfer,
Named Kingfield name for
because of
Martin Luther King.
But
I
anyway,
mean, it's a nice little homage that happens to work.
it works within the Kingfield neighborhood,
Yeah.
which is 46th and Nicollet is MLK Park.
Yep.
And also where the Kingfield Farmers Market resides, which
That's a
I
cool
love the
little farmers market.
Kingfield Farmers Market. Yeah. What can we talk about with some more history of Kingfield? I got more stuff, man. This was all farm country. East Harriet and Kingfield.
Was all farm country till the late 1800s.
Till 1887, when Minneapolis was like, we're getting too big too fast.
Yeah, so remember
We want you.
We were talking about the Seward neighborhood.
Yeah.
And a lot of people on TikTok were like, that's not Seward, it's Cedar Riverside. Okay, whatever you want to call it. That was the city limits at that point.
Correct.
In the 1800s, right?
Yep.
And then the city pretty quickly expanded all the way out. And yeah, so Kingfield was 1880s was when they started.
Yeah, they started expanding south and west. And kind of absorbed the Kingfield and East Harriet neighborhoods, which were all farms. And one of the farms that this William S. King dude owned was what's called the Lyndale Farm, named after his father, which is now Lyndale Avenue.
Okay.
Is named after the Lyndale Farm that William S. King.
So his father's name wasn't Lyndale King.
It was like Lyndon King, I think.
Okay.
Lyndl.
Yeah, Lyndale, the Dale of Lynn. Okay,
Yes,
that makes sense.
that's right.
Yeah.
Some other interesting things I've come up.
Hit me.
Okay.
Hit me.
There was a man named John S. Pillsbury.
Can you make this rhyme?
There once was a man
Okay, thank you.
named John S. Pillsbury, of which Pillsbury Avenue is named after.
Okay.
A street within Kingfield.
Pillsbury Theater.
Yeah, sure. Pillsbury, everything's Pillsbury, but
Yeah.
Pillsbury Avenue in Kingfield. This dude was a trip, man. He was a
Baker.
not a baker.
Candlestick maker.
He was like a philanthropist and
Okay.
things like that. But
Yep.
and obviously his last name is big around here. And
He wasn't. Was he the flower? Like this is the flower guy, right?
Yeah.
So that was where his fortune came for philanthropy.
Yeah, that's right.
The milling industry.
Yeah, the milling.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. He's buried in Lakewood Cemetery. He died in 1901. His grandson went in the early 1900s after he passed away. His grandson went off to Europe with his new wife for their honeymoon.
Okay.
Guess what happened on their way back? Guess what?
They
Famous?
they discovered crescent rolls because they went to France and they ate croissants and they were like, we need something with our baking goods.
Pillsbury crescent rolls.
Pillsbury crescent rolls.
Yep, and
Popping fresh dough.
the legend.
I'm not.
began.
That's not right.
That's not right.
Okay,
On
okay.
the way back from their honeymoon, they were like, "Let's go on a little ship called the Titanic."
Get out of here.
No, seriously.
Oh, cool. So he died.
No. Quite the contrary.
Oh.
He wasn't, let's just say he wasn't a real women and children first
Oh,
kind
this
of
is
guy.
Billy Zane.
Yes.
He's Billy Zane.
He was on the fucking first lifeboat.
What a dick.
I know.
You got Jack dying in the water and
John Pillsbury's grandson.
John Pillsbury,
Obviously an elite.
Richard Pillsbury,
Yeah.
throwing
And his
babies
new
off.
wife. Yeah, right? Just elbowing the elderly to get on. Anyway, he was on the first lifeboat, so he lived and his wife lived.
What a douche.
I know. Another interesting story about John Pillsbury.
Yeah.
Wait, did I say his name is John? Yes.
I hope it's John.
So in 1877,
Yeah.
in Minneapolis, there was a grasshopper plague,
Okay.
which I would assume is like a plague of locusts, right?
Sure,
There's grasshopper.
sure.
There's like billions of grasshoppers.
biblical proportions, yeah.
destroying
Sure.
crops or whatever.
Sure.
And
You see the movie A Bug's Life?
I have,
Those
yeah.
grasshoppers are nasty bastards.
Yeah, they're nasty, man.
Okay.
But Pillsbury was governor at the time. So what he did, he called for a national day of prayer on April 26th, 1877, to rid the town of these grasshoppers.
Did it work?
Not only did it work, a sleet storm came the next day
Dude, get
and
outta
wiped
here.
out all the grasshoppers.
Get outta
and
here.
to this day in Cold Spring, Minnesota, which is, an hour and a half northwest or whatever, sits a chapel built to honor the miracle.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
So
man.
apparently he had supernatural powers. In
That's-
addition to being a governor, flour mill magnate, grandfather to douchey.
She's like the anti-Kennedy, right? Like,
yeah,
because the Kennedys, like all their kids die in random ways.
yes,
And things never work out.
Right.
This guy just was like, let me lay hands on you, man.
Yeah.
He was like knocking people out with touch, like the floor ministries.
that's right. His grandson
Wow.
just throwing babies overboard to get on
That's
this
crazy, man.
lifeboat.
That is pretty cool. I didn't know that about Pillsbury.
Yeah.
No, I do.
Anyway, so some of the streets around there are named for obviously famous Minnesotans, but I thought Pillsbury. If you're out there listening or watching, and you live on Pillsbury, give us a ring.
Yeah. Tell us what you think.
Tell us what you think about the story that
John.
I just told you, because he was a character.
You're
Anyway,
gonna get like phone calls that are like, good story, man.
yeah, good story, man.
Click,
It
click.
went on too long. But a couple of data points about Kingfield specifically. Median sales price right now, or as of February 2025, $430K.
Yeah, East Harriet.
East Harriet, significantly more expensive, $528.
Yeah, because you get the houses on the lake.
Yeah, man.
Driving it up.
It skews all the numbers.
Got a couple $1 million+ houses.
Yep.
We start pushing value.
Yeah, those obviously in Minneapolis, nobody lives on the lake because
Sure.
it's all
The parkway
belongs
or whatever.
to the city or whatever. But
You got the view.
But if you have the views of the lake and you got a big ass house,
Yeah.
it's very, very, very expensive. So that skews that. But as we all know and have talked about, the Twin Cities median sale price is $415. So Kingfield's above.
Yep.
And East Harriet's significantly above.
Yeah. Obviously, if they don't know by now, they know where I'm going, and that's into the restaurants.
Let's do it.
I mean, we can talk more. I actually do want to talk about some of the architecture. So maybe we'll start with that.
Yeah.
Because
You're right.
Kingfield has like an abundance of craftsmen
Yep.
and bungalows, and like really big craftsmen, old big craftsmen,
Yeah.
that are really cool.
Yeah, and bigger bungalows too. So like I always associate bungalows being like 1,200 square feet, 2 or 3 bed, 1 or 2 bath.
Do you know what makes a bungalow? That was like an actual question.
Oh, then no.
No, it's generally
Built-ins?
no, but craftsmen have a lot of built-ins
Craftsmen
and
do too,
bungalows too, right? Just
Yeah.
of that era.
Yeah.
But generally, a bungalow can be a story and a half or single story, but it has a very shallow sloping roof line.
Interesting.
And then often has front porches, but like craftsmen can have front porches, right?
yeah,
craftsmen
They
generally
more
have
those
the-
columns, right?
Yeah.
I think of.
And they have both of them have the woodwork, the big sort of bold trimmed woodwork, more so on the bungalow, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Do you know how I know the difference between bungalows and craftsmen? How 1980s politicians described how they know pornography when they see it. I know it when I see it. Can't define it. Know it when I see it.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that, but
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
it seems
it was-
like a Tipper Gore kind of thing.
it was like a big, it was something like that where they were trying to,
It was like the debate on 2 Live Crew.
yeah. What is pornography? Well, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Me with bungalows.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so there are all throughout those neighborhoods, big bungalows, craftsmen. Obviously, you get some of that like weird Spanish inspired architecture sprinkled throughout those neighborhoods. Stucco facades, clay tile, for the roof, sort of flat or ornate roof lines. And then some mid mods. I think as you get closer to the lake, no?
That would track, right?
Yeah.
The further you expanded, the city expanded west and south.
Yep.
The architecture was more recent.
Yep.
Would make sense. I also wanted to I want some feedback here too. If anybody lives in Kingfield, because I believe it's Bryant Avenue. Has turned into at least a one-way, but they're trying to make Kingfield and Minneapolis in general more bike friendly.
Bryant has become a bike,
bikeway,
a greenway. I don't know if that's what they
it's
call
not
it.
a true greenway like the greenway we're thinking of, because I believe vehicles can still go down
Sure,
it,
but it's
only
got
one
like
way.
a protected bike.
It does,
path.
yeah. Which I know construction took a long time for that, and it's done now, which is great. But it would be interesting to hear people's feedback if they live in the neighborhood, because I don't live in the neighborhood, so I don't really know.
Tell you what, man, we could do a whole episode, and it would be contentious as to thoughts on biking in Minneapolis.
Oh my God!
What say you?
Oh, what?
Are you a proponent?
Oh, I'm a big proponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big, huge proponent. I think we need more mass
Do you
transit.
do you like
more bikes?
Do you like bikers?
I am a biker.
Do you like bicyclists?
I do like bicyclists.
I hate bicyclists.
Well, that's why we need to make it more bike friendly, so they're not biking on the street.
Dude. River Road has multiple bike lanes.
Yeah.
Why are you in the middle of the road going 10 miles an hour in your short, like, spandex Spanx and fucking Tour de France helmet?
Oh Lord!
Get in the bike lane. It's built for you, dude.
Because they're 10 mile.
Here's another
10
thing.
mile an hour max.
Here's
and
another
they
thing.
think they're going 30.
No. Here's another thing. You're on a bike. You don't have to stop for a traffic light. That you're above the traffic rules. We're supposed to stop for you flying 40 miles an hour through an intersection because you have the right of way somehow. I think there's like a little elitism going on in the bike community that I'm all for it. I think more people should bike. I think there should be bike lanes. I think people should use the bike lanes. I don't think mofos should be mad at my kid for biking on a sidewalk in the city instead of a street bike lane because it's a child and I want them to be protected, but like use the bike lane. Don't be some pretentious a-hole who just flies through every stoplight and thinks you're better than people in cars because we drive longer than you instead of biking.
Really touched a nerve
Bikers,
over here.
man.
Uh,
Good ones, love them.
I was going to
Bad
say,
ones, hate them.
The percentage you're talking about is probably pretty small. Like if
But they're there,
But,
and
of course
they
they're
make a
there.
bad name for everybody, man.
Yeah, because I know what you're
Kind of
talking
like
about.
Audi drivers or BMW drivers or what, you know what I mean? Like most people just love their car and they're awesome, you know? But like the small percentage of pretentious D-balls give the whole thing a bad name.
All right, and that's how Casey feels about that.
We'll see if people there's going to be so we have Big Brain Andy time now. There needs to be like Casey's rant.
No, yeah, it needs to be like what grinds your gears.
Well, yeah, you give me a name and I'll cut it.
Okay.
The 112 burger could for sure fit that.
Oh, that was the first one.
Yeah,
The 112
bikers, man.
bikers. What
but-
else we want? You go
So
and talk about some
couple
stuff.
things, and we'll get to the restaurants at the end. I love the nature
Yes.
that I guess I thought it was Kingfield, but it's really on the border of Kingfield and East Harriet and winds around the lake. You have the Lyndale Rose Gardens, which are beautiful, over 3,000 varieties of over 3,000 different plant species and 100 varieties. And the sprawling 1.5 acre rose garden, second oldest rose public
In
garden.
Minnesota?
No, in the entire United States. Yeah,
That's crazy.
and it's beautiful. It's a great place to go, spend a spring or summer day or evening. And then adjacent to that, even something that I like even more is the Peace Garden. Some people call it the Rock Garden.
I'm not even familiar with this. I'm a Minneapolis guy.
It is gorgeous. So of these winding paths where you forget that you're in the city. You don't quite have lake views yet. So it's like at parts you feel like you're in a pine forest or something like that.
Sure.
And then there are all these beautiful rock gardens with like creeping mosses and hummingbirds and a bird sanctuary and like tons of ground cover. And I can't imagine how many thousands of varieties of plants are in that. And my good friend Jesse shout out Jesse and Jenny Mall. They got married there. At the Peace Garden, and is a beautiful ceremony and a beautiful backdrop for their wedding. It's worth I can't believe you're a South Minneapolis guy and you don't know about it, because it's worth, like, if you have a family, you're looking for a place to walk, you're looking for a first date opportunity. You walk from, the Harriet bandshell, which technically is still in East Harriet, even though it's on the northwest corner of the lake.
Okay.
That's where it starts. If you're walking from the bandshell and you're walking east around the north side of the lake, you can end up at the Peace Garden, and it's a really beautiful place. And all ages, all everything.
And shout back out to our Linden Hills episode, like, people, coinciding with the thaw, if you ever want to just, like, have a Saturday, bike your ass over to Lake Harriet, hang out.
Use the bike lane.
Go use the bike lane, identifiable by its only bike.
Yes.
Four bikes.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
Go have lunch in Linden Hills.
Yep.
Go shopping in Linden Hills, 43rd and Upton.
Yep.
Walk around the lake. Go to the Peace Garden.
Yeah.
Check out the roses.
Yeah.
Go have dinner in Kingfield at one of these places we're going to talk about.
Yeah. It's just one of the many reasons why that chain of lakes is such a draw in Minneapolis.
For sure.
Because there's so much infrastructure, for lack of a better word, built around it.
Yeah.
In terms of the neighborhoods, the shopping, the restaurants, the pedestrian thoroughfares, the access to nature on or off the water. I mean, it's all right there, and it's centered around those lakes for a reason. So if you don't get out to those things, or if you feel like you haven't gotten out to those things enough, certainly take the opportunity this spring and summer to do it, because it's some of the best stuff that the city offers, and it's free. So what better way to kill an afternoon with, you know what I mean, with a young family or a friend?
I fully endorse all of that.
Yeah.
If you've never done something like that, if you're new to the area, whatever, go check it out.
I want to talk restaurants.
Yeah,
if that's right with you,
buddy. Yeah.
I got to start with Victor's 1959. I call it Victor's Cuban.
Yeah.
It is. Give me the cross street.
38th and Grand.
38th.
Northwest corner.
38th and Grand. It is
It used to be a Dairy Queen.
tiny little hole in the wall. And that
Tiny,
explains it. The parking lot is big enough for
Non-existent.
2 bikes and a stick of gum.
Yeah.
And you're gonna wait on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And you're gonna love waiting, because when you get in that place and you get to sit down and order huevos rancheros or mango pancakes or eggs and black beans and sweet platanos,
Guava.
you are gonna fall in love with this place.
My ex-girlfriend's favorite restaurant. Did you know
It
that?
is.
My current wife, my ex-girlfriend's.
I did not know that.
It's her favorite restaurant.
But I haven't been there since my kids were. I probably haven't been there in 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And just because we drove by on the way to Clancy's, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, you gotta go. It's a mainstay. It's one of those restaurants I feel like that if you're even just visiting Minneapolis for a long weekend and you're looking for a breakfast joint, like, go there, man. Skip the regular ass, like, go to the, insert restaurant here I won't disparage, because they're great places.
For sure they are.
But this is a unique fixture.
It's a unique experience.
It's like Al's Breakfast, right? It's like a place that you have to go.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that on a Dinkytown episode.
On a Dinkytown episode, yeah. But like you said, not only is the food unique because it's Cuban, there's not a lot of Cuban restaurants around. Not only is it delicious, the experience is part of it. I mean, it's so colorful and it's so unique.
Yep.
And
atmosphere is great.
Yeah, the atmosphere is great. And sure, in the summer you can eat outside, but I always like to eat inside at the booths. And
it's worth the wait.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Victor's.
Cafe Ina, keeping on the Latin American vibe.
Yes. 46th and Grand?
Yes, that place is great. So Grand has there's like a hub on Grand. If you just take Grand, you're gonna bump into good restaurants.
Yeah.
Patisserie 46 is there across from Cafe Ina.
Yes.
Cafe Ina is really good, man. Their
never been.
guacamole
I've driven by it 10 billion times in my life.
is fantastic. They have good fish options like Latin American style seafood dishes. I think I had some Chilean sea bass there at one point. But that's another phenomenal restaurant. Some outdoor seating, great vibes inside. It's not going anywhere. It's been there
fantastic.
forever.
Been there forever,
Yep.
yeah. And Patisserie 46, like you said, is kitty corner from that. Do you say catty corner?
Kitty corner.
Oh, okay.
Catty corner. Kitty corner.
I don't know what they say in
Kitty corner.
the Northeast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boludo. We're just making the Latin
Roll.
American round. Boludo, Argentinian, pizza, and empanadas, dude.
and that's about it. And
So
that's all you
good.
need.
They do something to their crust. It's like a coarse salt on their crust.
Yeah.
That like really pops
And they're
gives
shaped
you,
like footballs, like
Yes.
they're oblong.
Yeah.
And it's some of the most unique but tastiest pizza you'll have.
Yep.
You're right. The crust,
Yep.
every part of it, every component of it's great, but the crust is what does
Yep.
it.
Yep.
And the empanadas are stellar, and
Yes.
the oily, garlicky,
Yes.
chimichurri style
Yes.
sauces that they have on the side. Oh my God,
What are
get
you
out of
doing?
here.
What are you doing to me?
I know.
I'm going to shout it out, even though the head chef or the guy who helped create Petit Leon just
Jorge Guzman.
stepped away from it.
Yeah. I've never been there either, but
Dude,
I've only
so
heard great
for all the
things.
burger talk that we have done on
Petit
this
Leon
podcast,
burger, yeah, I've heard about it.
I think it might be my favorite burger in the
Wow.
like Juicy's are in their own category, right?
Okay,
Like Juicy
okay.
Lucy's are in their own
Okay.
category, and they're not on my favorite burger list.
Okay.
Right? Like a good Juicy is a good Juicy when you want a good Juicy, but like a good burger is the classic thing.
Yeah.
Right? Petite Leon is a smash burger style burger.
Little Lion for all of you.
Yeah.
Normies.
And it used to be something else, Blackbird,
Yes.
a couple years ago, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Who also had a great burger. But Petite
Didn't that
Leon
burn down?
I think it had some fire.
Yeah,
Anyways. That's how we reframe. Didn't it burn down? No, it had some fire issues. It's like
Fire issues.
yeah.
I love
That's
that.
a
It's a
spin room.
euphemistic riff on a
Dude,
spin.
Good cocktails, incredible burgers. I mean, other things are great on the menu. Go try it all. But
Yeah.
that burger is something, man.
I've heard that about Petit Leon. Yeah.
Any ones that you love in that neighborhood? Because there are a lot. There are a ton of restaurants. in that
Boludo's
neighborhood.
like one of my favorite places ever.
Okay.
So we hit that.
Clancy's.
Clancy's on 38th and Grand on the southwest corner of 38th and Grand, across from Victor's and Rincon 38, which is also great.
Not really just a restaurant. In fact,
No, Clancy's
that's like
is
the
a
side
butcher
hustle.
shop. Yeah. Clancy's is a butcher shop. One of the more unique little boutique butcher shops where you can get a lot of really, really cool cuts of meat that you don't see other places. All locally sourced, expensive AF, but
Yep.
they're not gouging you. Like this is what it costs
Yeah.
to get, good grass-fed, local,
Yep. And I can
proteins.
tell you, when you first, being from the East Coast, you were like, it's the best roast beef sandwich in the city.
Yeah, it's
And
my
I was
favorite
like,
roast beef
let's go
sandwich.
get some roast beef sandwiches.
Yeah.
And then I found out it was a cold sandwich.
It's a cold
And
sandwich.
I was really turned off. I was like, holy shit, what are we doing? You said roast beef sandwich. I'm thinking hot roast beef sandwich,
Yeah.
dripping with au jus, like
Yeah.
just might be one of the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had.
is really good.
It worth every penny. It's on
Yeah.
a patisserie
It's expensive.
46 baguette.
It's on a patisserie 46 baguette.
It's spicy.
Yeah.
The roast beef is so tender. It just
so
kind of
good.
melts in your mouth.
Oh, we just went there last week, and I'm like ready to go back.
It's really good, man.
Yeah.
Really, really good. What else you got?
For restaurants, what else do I got?
You got the Brugger's Bagels.
You do.
Oh,
Sun
what was
Street
it?
Breads. That's Sun Street Breads is right on the border of Kingfield
Yep.
and something else.
Yep.
46th and Nicollet.
Yep.
But Sun Street Breads is amazing. It's been open for maybe a decade now, and it's just got some of the best breakfast food you'll ever have. One of the best bakers when they first opened. I don't know if it's still the same baker, but just like widely recognized as just having chops and like
Sure.
really, really skilled. Roadrunner Records on Nicollet.
Yeah.
Great
Really
little
cool record shop.
indie record shop. Has
Yep.
been there forever.
Yep.
What else you got? That's all I got.
So there is the Center for Performing Arts. on 38th and Pleasant. And it's a really cool neighborhood organization. It is like a cooperative space. So performing arts center that has like performative spaces. There are music lessons that happen there. There are youth programs that happen there. There are theater programs that happen there. There are dance programs that happen there. There are wellness center that happens there. And it's all in this beautifully renovated building right on the corner there. That's walking distance to Victor's Cuban and Clancy's. It's right there.
But on like a neighborhood intersection.
Yeah, it's in between Petit Leon and Victor's Cuban.
Yeah.
Right there. It's like 2 blocks removed from
Between
Victor's
Nicollet
Cuban.
and Grand, yeah.
Yep. And it is one of the coolest cooperative arts spaces in the Twin Cities. And
So we need the vibrant
it's like
art
a
scene.
local hub for all things performing arts. And if you're into the performing arts, you're in South Minneapolis, you're looking for music lessons for your kids, whether it's the concert harp or guitar, they got you covered for that, man. Really cool space. Wanted to shout them out.
English
because
horn? Could I
the flugel?
the flugel?
You probably could find a flugel horn person. And I think you can rent spaces there, performance spaces or
Sounds like it, yeah.
practice spaces.
Yeah.
So also another really cool little gem in the South Minneapolis neighborhood of Kingfield.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Solid neighborhood watch, bro.
Yeah, good neighborhood watch.
That was good.
Let's blow it up.
Oh God. Let's never do that again.
That's very dad.
Yeah. Should we do some quick boom times?
Dude, why do I revert to that when I see little people? I'm like, give me one of these, man. I blow it up. And then
Like kids?
Then
you
I come
mean?
back to them and I go,
Because you're an aging male,
dude.
It's
I'm
tough.
a child. I'm a child. That's what it is.
Yeah. Maybe
love
Maybe that's why we get along. Because
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat.
Welcome to Boom Times, a segment called Boom Times, Boom Times.
Well, I think we should do some quick boom times and then get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah. What we got?
If you're new to us, boom times, BMTMS,
BMTMS.
books, music,
Yep.
TV, movies, sports. It's whatever we want to talk about. It's we're tastemakers, we're influencers.
We are influencers.
People take what we say
Gen X
seriously.
influencers. Xennials.
I am on the cusp. I believe I'm a Gen
Xennial.
X. I'm officially Gen X.
Me too. But like, I'm not like, there's some Gen Xers that are older that are like firmly Gen X. We understand the millennial stuff too because we were on the edge of that, and we're young at heart.
We're not like the Reality Bites Gen X.
No.
Right.
No. We had
Those are like
we
10
had the
years older than
grunge,
us.
we had the Nirvana,
But we were kids.
But we were kids. But then we also had gangster rap and early internet.
Yes. Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
What do you got? You got anything for boom times?
For boom times?
Yeah. I've got something. So there's a comedian named Ryan Goodcase, Ryan. He's the dude that we stole the bit from with the counting down.
Minnesota market in a minute.
Minnesota market in a minute. He has, I think he's not, commanded the national spotlight or anything like a Nate Bargatze or something else has. But this dude,
Nate Bargatze, man.
he's hosted Saturday Night Live twice.
No idea who the hell that guy
Oh,
is.
you don't?
Who's Nate Bargatze?
He's hosted Saturday Night Live twice.
That's his claim to fame?
Well, he's a comedian,
What's he do?
stand-up comedy.
Okay.
He's pretty funny. But this guy, he's got a YouTube special out,
Okay.
only on YouTube.
Okay.
And I watched it last night.
Yeah. Funny.
My kids were asleep.
Yeah.
And I was stifling. I was crying.
Okay.
Crying.
What's his name?
Ryan Goodcase.
Ryan Goodcase.
Ryan Goodcase.
Okay.
This dude, I swear to God, it's like a 45-minute stand-up thing. You can find it on YouTube. It was put out like a year ago. Anyway, I was like, I'll just watch it. And I was literally crying. I tell you, crying. at 10:30 at night, almost ready for bed, just laughing my ass off.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm gonna have to check that.
yep.
We're gonna have to. We're just gonna have to. It's gonna have to marinate for a minute.
I've got another one.
Okay.
I was going to talk about something else for BoomTimes, and I'll talk to you about off camera because it could be controversial. But the other thing I wanted to talk about,
I can cut.
Society of the Snow.
Sat.
It's a movie.
Okay.
It got nominated for an Academy Award last year.
Okay.
It's subtitled. It's in Spanish, but it is. Do you remember the movie Alive starring Ethan Hawke, like in 1993?
No.
Okay. There was this Uruguayan rugby team that chartered a flight to Santiago, Chile, I believe,
Yep.
and it crashed in the mountains before.
Oh, where they ate each other.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Ethan Hawke was in that?
That was the 93 movie called Alive.
Yeah, I do remember that
But
very
they
well.
just made another one.
Same premise?
Well, yeah, it tells
Same
the
movie.
story. It's the same. It tells the story of what happened.
Okay.
It's not a documentary. It's like what do you call that? A major motion picture?
Sure. Yeah.
It's on
a
it's on
blockbuster.
it's on Netflix.
What's it called?
Subtitled Society of the Snow.
Okay.
It is one of the most
Better than Alive?
I mean, they're not even in the same ballpark.
Okay.
Alive sucks compared to this. This
Okay.
is like one of the best movies I've literally ever seen. Probably
Okay.
like top 30
I'm going to have to
movies.
watch this because I actually liked a lot. I mean, I haven't seen it in 25 years,
Yeah.
30 years, but
Yeah. No, it's so heart-wrenching and it gripping and so well shot, and it's amazing, and it gives humanity to these people that, the story is they had to eat each other.
oh yeah.
It's a tough hang. It's
Even
depressing.
beyond to eat each other, they had to walk out of the Andes Mountains.
Yeah, man.
How do you?
Yeah.
I have a hard time walking up a sled hill.
Yeah.
How do you walk out of the Andes Mountains?
Well, and with no, almost dead.
Almost dead,
Yeah.
and like what you're wearing on a plane, and
Right.
whatever they could find in the suitcases that they could find.
Yeah, they're not on skis.
Yeah.
Anyway, Society of the Snow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies where you turn off and you just have to sit with it for a minute and just think about it.
I think you consume a lot more media than I do.
Probably. I listen to a lot of music, a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of shows and a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Another BoomTimes.
I can tell you about Crave and no, that's a local business, man. It's not even a
Dope Thief.
I
texted you about this.
I wanted to watch this. I didn't realize who was in it.
Yeah, it's a new
It's a
show.
dude from Atlanta.
Yeah, from Atlanta. Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah,
from Atlanta.
he's great.
It's a Philly-based
Yeah.
show.
Someone online was like, I immediately turned it off when the dude said John in the wrong context. And another guy was like, no, because that guy wasn't from Philly, and people from Philly use John in
it was like
wildly
meta.
wrong context.
I
Yeah.
see.
So-
I see. They did use John. But holy shit, is this good? It's new.
good.
I went to go watch an episode last night before I watched that comedy thing, and they're only putting them out every week, so it's
Can kids watch? Is it like a 15-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old watch?
Or
is it questionable for that?
I mean, it's about two dudes who pose as DEA agents to rob drug dealers.
Yeah, so kids can watch.
Sure.
Okay.
Anyway.
My kids can watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
All right.
great.
I don't have anything meaningful to add on this week's BoomTimes. I'll come more correct next week. I didn't know we were going to do it.
It's
You always have
always
stuff
in my
on-
back pocket.
You always have stuff on tap.
Yeah.
You
We'll come correct next week with.
You went with all movies this week.
No stand-up comedy special.
Yeah.
But major motion picture.
Viewable things.
Viewable things, yeah.
Viewable
I did.
things.
I did. Do you want me to throw out some more that aren't?
that are not viewable.
Yeah, I'm not going to. We'll talk next week.
Yeah. All right. Hope you guys have a good week. Enjoy the early spring. It's not early spring. Hope you guys have a good week.
Spring break for kids, either now or next week.
Except for Catholic schools, they had it like a month ago. Although my son's in the Dells right now with his buddy. Got invited to the Dells for spring break.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's very deli.
See you next time.